be blessed by the divine. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். I'm going to share my thoughts today on biomagnetism. So, what is biomagnetism? How biomagnetism is operating inside our body, and how do we spend our biomagnetism on various purposes, and how do we receive biomagnetism from various sources. So if there is a shortage of biomagnetism, what will happen? If there is an enormous or enough or surplus biomagnetism is there in your body, what will happen? So we'll look at all those angles today. So there are two kinds of magnetism that you need to understand. Number one, universal magnetism. Another one is a biomagnetism. So what is universal magnetism? Magnet means it radiates energy. We all know that. So from our body, if such magnetic energy is produced and radiated, it is known as biomagnetism. The same way, if such energy is from the cosmic universe, then it is known as universal magnetism. So the magnetic energy inside our body is known as biomagnetism. Outside is universal magnetism. So outside is actually universal magnetism. It is connected to the divine supreme consciousness, and as a single human being, it is inside me. It's known as Jivatma, and the one is outside is known as Paramatma or God. The one inside me is a Jivatma. Now this biomagnetism is very important, and everyone must understand this biomagnetic energy. Now what are the sources by which this biomagnetism is generated? So before understanding that, we need to understand three different bodies inside ourselves. So the body, that is what you see outside the body, this is known as physical body. So you go a little bit inside, there is another body which is made up of life energy particles. You just go and take one piece of a cell, cut it down, so it's made up of molecules. Go down further down, so it's fundamental life energy particles. Now inside each life energy particle, there are divine particles or further minute energy particles are there. Everything is doing self-rotation. Now there is a physical body, and the body that is made up of life energy particles, and there is another body made up of magnetic energy, which is radiated energy. Now genetic center is a center for all the three bodies together. The genetic center is a center for the physical body, astral body, and the causal body. Now biomagnetism actually gets stored in the genetic center. So genetic center is the battery of our body. So how does it store this biomagnetism? From various sources. So the food we take gets converted and stored in the genetic center. Now the water we drink is also converted and stored as in the form of energy into the genetic center. And then we also receive radiations from the planets, that also is stored in the genetic center. And also we receive radiation from the earth, and that is also stored in the genetic center. So these are all the sources of our biomagnetism. So if I do not eat food properly, let's say I just swallowed the food, or watched TV and ate the food, or I ate very fastly, did not chew the food properly. So let's say I've taken 4 idlis today, and I ate the food now. 4 idlis should convert into 4 units of energy and stored in the genetic center. Now since I did not eat properly, what will happen is 4 units of energy will not be produced from the 4 idlis. Rather, it will produce only 2 units. Not only that, 2 idlis, a portion of idli becomes a waste. So you need to supply energy to clear that waste from the body. So the production units of the biomagnetism is not functioning properly. Since you didn't chew your food properly, you didn't eat properly. I'm not talking about the kind of food we are eating, I'm talking about how we eat. So the sources that generate the biomagnetism needs to be functioning in 100% efficiency. If it is not functioning with 100% efficiency, even though we eat food, we are not going to get all the energy from the food. So only partially we will receive. And same way with the water, And if we completely fill our stomach with food, then what will happen? We will not receive energy from the planetary radiation and also from the radiations from the earth. So now these are all the sources from which we receive energy, that we know that. So I'm not going to talk in detail how to optimize the sources and all. That's a different talk altogether. So now how do we spend this energy? So the energy is spent for two different purposes. One is for physical functions, another one is for the mental functions. So physical functioning is actually when you perform physical function itself, you can classify into two different categories. Number one, autonomous functions, and some of the other actions that you perform. Mental function is using thought force. So let's say heart is keep on pumping, the liver is continuously working, kidney is continuously working. So these are autonomous functions of the body. All these parts of the body requires energy. So that energy it receives from the genetic center. So that is actually one of the expense. It's a continuous expenditure happening, and it draws the energy from the genetic center, which is stored through various sources, and it uses. The second is the actions. Let's say we are jogging, we are running, we are working in the office, we are cooking food, we are doing something. So when we perform certain actions every day, we need energy for that. So when we perform physical actions, for that also we spend energy. Next is when we watch TV, when we do involve ourselves in the sensual enjoyments, watching TV, listening to music, or anything else that we do, then also our energy is spent on that counter. Now next is actually the mental function. That is, whenever you create a new thought, emotional needs, for example anger, hatred, all these things drain out the energy significantly. Whereas you close your eye and meditate, inner travel, when you do that, you conserve energy. So any type of emotional turbulence drains out the energy significantly from your body through the mind. So these are all the counters by which you actually spend your energy. Now let us look at different kind of sensual feelings that we have. For example, let us take sweetness. So I took a piece of sweet and I actually put it on my tongue. I feel the sweetness now. Now I take a cup of coffee and I drink myself now. So I don't feel the taste and the sweetness in the coffee. Why is that so? Because when I actually initially consumed the sweet initially, 10 units of biomagnetism is actually flowed through my tongue, and 10 units of biomagnetism is what felt as a sweetness. My mind actually does, because it got communicated to my mind and I felt it as a sweetness. Now after I drink the coffee, now after taking the sweet, I drink the coffee. Now coffee requires only 2 units of sweets. So the tongue needs to draw only 2 units of sweetness. But unfortunately, the tongue has already drawn 10 units of, it's in a state of aggravation. So let's say, for example, in your kitchen, mixie is on. At that time you are watching TV. So will you be able to listen the song from the TV? You cannot listen. Why? Because the noise made by the mixie supersedes the song from the TV. So you are not able to listen to the song. Same way, the tongue actually has gone to the aggravated state of consuming drawing the 10 units of energy through the tongue. As a result, it is not able to sense the lower units of energy from the coffee. But you leave it for a while. After 5-10 minutes, the tongue, which was spending the 10 units of energy to the sweet, now there is no more sweet, so it comes down, 0 units, neutral. Now you take the coffee, you feel the sweetness in the coffee. Now if the coffee is sweetful, then you should have felt the sweetness all time. Not only that, let us take another situation. Let's say you are down with fever. I am giving you a sweet. You feel a bitter taste. Remember, if the sweetness is there in the sweet, then you should feel the sweetness always, isn't it? So the sweetness is not there in the sweet. It's actually the expenditure of biomagnetism through your tongue is experienced as a sweetness. So all sort of sensual experiences are expenditure of biomagnetism. You spend money and buy something, and enjoy that. So what do you enjoy? You enjoy your money. Same way, you spend your energy and enjoy that. Now it is your responsibility to spend your energy wisely. Otherwise, you deplete your biomagnetism significantly from your body. It's essential, and you have to be watchful on how your biomagnetism is being spent on various counters. If you don't do that, slowly it drains out all the biomagnetism from the body. After biomagnetism is depleted from the body, you feel pain, headache, all sort of problems comes. Now, this is the same thing. You watch TV for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Then eyes started paining. Why? Because there is significant amount of biomagnetism is flowing through the eye. Eyes actually cannot tolerate so much amount of flow. If you, for example, in a tube, the water keeps on flowing, then the tube gets little heat, right? Same way, the small tubes in the eyes gets heat. As a result, you experience that as a pain. So anything, whatever you enjoy in your life is actually only the expenditure of biomagnetism. So you need to be cautious on spending that biomagnetism from your body. Now, next is actually we understood how we receive energy, how we spend energy. Now we will look at different kind of feelings that we get when we actually spend this biomagnetism. Number one is a pleasure, second is a pain, second one is actually peace, next one is a bliss or ecstasy. For example, the same sweet example. When I took the sweet initially, I feel pleasure because that's a feeling. But when I'm having fever, the same sweet I'm bringing it here, it gives me the pain because I don't have the biomagnetism. So whenever there is surplus biomagnetism inside yourself, you will always feel pleasure. When there is a shortage of biomagnetism, you will feel painful. And when there is a always income and expenditure, both are equal, it's a neutral state. Beyond that, if you receive immense amount of universal cosmic energy flowing onto yourself, then that's known as bliss or ecstasy. That you receive only when you do meditation. So when you close your eyes, travel inside and connect with the divine consciousness, as you do that, you receive immense amount of divine energy flowing onto you. That's known as a feeling of bliss. So whenever you do any sensual enjoyment, it's a pleasure. But after pleasure, pain comes because you can't continue the pleasure for a long time, because in the process of pleasure, you deplete your energy. So you can't continue that. So in the process of pleasure, you go to the next stage of pain. After pain, you stop everything, you restore the biomagnetism, then you start enjoying. That's a vicious cycle and human being is going through. But again, if you limit yourself in the pleasure or limit yourself in the enjoyment, you can avoid the pain. The moment you see, okay, half an hour I watch TV, okay, I'm going to stop it. I ate a sweet, fine, I'll stop it. So as long as you limit yourself with the enjoyments, you can avoid the pain in life. It's not that you don't have to enjoy in this life, you can enjoy, but there is a limit. When you cross the limit, it results in the pain. So in your day-to-day life, if you look at the 5 different aspects you should take care. Number 1, the food we eat. Excessive eating is not good, under eating is also not good. Second is the work we do. You should not be not doing any work, like it's sitting lazy, or you should be overworking as well, doing day and night kind of a work. Next is sleep. Sleep is a minimum, is mandatory. If you sleep too long also, it's not good for health. Next one is the sexual activity. Again, you do not be crossing the limit for that as well. So the next one is the thought force. So if you indulge your thought on the various negative emotions, then it will drain out your energy. Positive emotions, love, compassion, all those things, it's good for your mind and good for your soul as well. So the 5 things, if you cross or limit or exceed on certain proportion, it results in the pain. Exceed the limit. Or if you confine yourself, you can continue and maintain the pleasure of that as well. So that's the fundamental in the biomagnetism. The next what we are going to see is how this biomagnetism affects your mind significantly and also affects your body. So as I said, the pain initially starts if there is a shortage of biomagnetism. Then next prolonged period of such a shortage leads to disease. For example, I watch TV every day 3 hours. For 5 days, 6 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, I experience a little bit of pain. As I continue that, slowly a disease comes in the eye. And then after that, so this is a disease in the eye first. The same way, I overeat 1 day, 2 days. I feel a little bit of stomach upset or pain. I continue that. Then a disease in the stomach comes. Same way, any organ, Same way, sensual activities, any sort of sensual activities, if you exceed the limit, it initially starts with the pain and then slowly transforms into a disease. So the prolonged way it becomes time. What happens here is the biomagnetism, because of the excessive usage of the sensual organs, then it creates a short circuit in the specific organ. For example, I watch TV too long, then it, because of the excessive flow of biomagnetism through my eyes, it creates a short circuit in my eyes. So the tubes get cut off, because if excessive flow in your excessive voltage comes to your home, then automatically a bulb fuses, right? Isn't it? The same way, body organs gets into a fuse. So biomagnetism is not able to flow in that direction no longer. As a result, it actually creates a byproduct effect of that energy is not able. For example, let's say the energy is not flowing this portion properly. As a result, there is a block, and now because this portion energy is not flowing, so whatever organ inside here is not functioning properly. As a result, it creates a blockage somewhere else, and again somewhere else here, and somewhere else here. So as a result, it becomes a vicious cycle. So the prolonged diseases here, everything finally leads to a short circuit in the genetic center itself, which is a source or battery. When such short circuit becomes significant in the genetic center, it breaks out. That results in the death of a human being. So if you maintain biomagnetism surplus, at least you can live as longer life you can live by keeping yourself or spending wisely the biomagnetism that you generate from the various sources. Now, next thing is, now we talked about the physical aspect. If there is a shortage of biomagnetism, you may feel body pain, frequent illness, all these things will come. The next one is mental problem. Whenever there is a shortage of biomagnetism, you will feel in your mind a little bit weak. So, for example, if you feel tired, somebody comes and irritates you, you will feel violently behave. You might behave violently because already you are shortage. So what you will do is actually your mind is not in your control because it's not in a balanced state. So you throw out again more energy, deplete yourself further. As a result, you further drain out the energy and become more and more tired, and your organs become much more weaker. So maintaining a healthy biomagnetism intensity in your body is a must and mandatory for a happy life. If such biomagnetism intensity is not maintained, it might result in the form of fear and anger with the people around yourself. You may get angry with your life partner, children and all because of the shortage of the biomagnetism. So what you need to do to maintain the biomagnetism properly: limit yourself when you do any sensual enjoyments, increase your sources. That means doing meditation, receive energy. Universal magnetism, pure divine energy flows onto you. When you eat food, eat properly. There are rules for eating food properly. When to eat, only when you are hungry you should eat, otherwise you should not eat. So there are rules you should follow related to that. Next is receive energy from the planetary radiations properly. All those proportions, if you do that, your biomagnetism intensity goes up. The next one, final part, is the quality of the biomagnetism that is generated from our body. So what is that quality of the biomagnetism? Now, we talked about the quantity of the biomagnetism. The quality is about the quality of imprints in your genetic center. And also, it's about the quality of thoughts that you have. If I have significant amount of sinful imprints in my genetic center, so when the biomagnetism is drawn from the battery or the source, it's going to have qualitatively, it's going to be a corrupted biomagnetism. As a result, wherever it flows, it's going to affect certain organ. For example, you draw current from a pure source, you draw current from some other contaminated source. As a result, it contaminates wherever it goes. For example, take water. You draw water from a pure source, you drink that, it's good for health. Same way, you polluted water, you take and consume that, then it affects health, right? Same way, the qualitative imprints in the genetic center also drives that. So you need to clean your genetic center to maintain the quality of the biomagnetism that is generated from the genetic center. So to do that, you need to do a lot of good deeds, create good thoughts, always speak good words. A lot of good deeds you need to perform. When you do that, slowly the quality of the genetic center improves. So the quality and the quantity both matters as far as the biomagnetism. This is a fundamental knowledge that every human being must possess actually. Once you have this knowledge, you know how to enrich yourself by increasing the quality and quantity of the biomagnetism. So now you should be watchful of your thoughts, your actions, and everything to bring the quality. Now other aspects you cover to bring the quantity, and you can become very healthy. And now with this extra biomagnetism, you can pass this energy to other people as well. So if you are fully having a lot of biomagnetism in your body, if there is a surplus, first of all, your existing diseases will start getting cured slowly. Whatever may be the disease, since you having surplus energy inside yourself, it will start cure all the diseases in your body slowly, one by one, one by one, one by one. And after it starts curing your diseases, you can pass this energy to other people, your life partner, children, or whoever, and that will also enrich them physically as well as mentally. You can use this for spiritually enlightening someone, giving initiation, passing energy to them. All these are good uses of biomagnetism. So there are special exercises taught in our sky yoga, mirror exercises, lamp exercise. All these things are additionally to enhance or increase the biomagnetism from our inside our body. So doing meditation is must for do that. So with this I'll conclude today's thought for the day about biomagnetism. And now we understood now let us all take an auto suggestion. We understood the importance of biomagnetism. I value the biomagnetism that is created inside me through various sources. I'll improve my efficiency of generating the biomagnetism from various sources. When I eat my food, drink water, I'll be cautious, I'll be in the constant awareness, and I generate 100% with 100% efficiency. I generate biomagnetism from these sources. I limit myself on the food, rest, sexual activity, sleep, and my thought force. And I generate with surplus energy, I'll cure all my diseases in my body. With that, I live a happy life. Be blessed by the divine. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன்.